I have been sharing with you the Lord's messages, all His encouragement and words to us, but I never have been as clear as I should to tell you the growth acquired until now, in whatever places He moved me in this past 2 years. Scarce was the update I gave, and what fruits they brought me. I will let you in on what has been happening with me in my spiritual growth and welfare in the places the Lord moved me, and what He and Mother Mary did for me, in the hope that you can relate in some way or another, in some area, and can see for yourself the results they bring, on both sides of the coin, good and bad. In Germany 2021, 2022. Leaving the mountain in 2021, the Lord sent me to Germany to a Heartdweller Sister. I met her a week ago before leaving the mountain. She traveled back to Germany, and so the Lord sent me to her place a week later. So staying there from November until June, those 7 months approximately, had training on me, for the Lord began to expose me to my own eyes. Suddenly I found myself short-tempered, easily irritated, prideful of how I would have preferred things to go, etc., etc. I would find myself so critical and judgmental of everything, such arrogance to what Sister would do at times. All the while the Lord was showing me my true fallen nature, my misery. One of them truly the prideful arrogance and disrespect of the heart, with all its evil self. You see, I always tried to control myself and all that would give in to sin so as not to offend the Lord. But I would not be very much focused on the Lord's mercy. After a fall, I would fall deeper into negativity and condemnation and guilt, as if sticking to me and not leaving me alone, like a sickness of the soul. The Lord allowed me to fall more and more, unable to control anything anymore, until the point that I realized and admitted openly to Him, repentant and almost hopeless at that moment, how wretched is my heart, Lord. And suddenly that instant when I admitted that and let myself go, at that moment I was hit with a warm clarity of heart about His mercy for me, the wretched sinner. This softness was so gentle, and to the touch, it was a grace that descended on me, even feeling this change physically. Just like Sister Therese from Lisieux got a grace that changed her child mind into a grown one on that Christmas day for her. I got this one on my Christmas Eve. How wonderful. Right when Sister and I walked the city streets, distributing some food bags to the poor we would find. From then on, my soul began to grow more into trusting the Lord's mercy over me each time I fell, and not allow myself to sink deep into the mire of negativity for having failed Him. Part of that had to do with me having a sense of perfectionism and desiring to please the Lord as best as I can and not offend Him. But I was relying too much on my own self-effort. Another battle I was facing there was being seen with my habit and people staring at me. Fear of men, people, would bark at my soul. I would still go out wearing the habits, but you can imagine little or big devils running and barking loudly, trying to weaken me and intimidate me from even showing up in public places. I was not well developed enough to resist or ignore those devils and their barking, and so being weak, I would mostly stay inside the house for the next 6 months, going out only when needed for tasks with Sister. It became overwhelming at one point. Our Father Superior suddenly called to check on me, and I opened up about it and he was there, listening. I was told that I could go in normal clothes until I was able to go with the habit, because it was not good to stay inside the house all the time. But I could not bear to fake myself, for I thought that I had to wear the habit always, as a Franciscan sister. So the next day after the call, I took a test in ordinary clothes. Then the next day with a habit, and I got to see the difference. In the end, Lord Jesus and Mother Mary won the battle a few days before I left Germany. I understand now the enemy was playing with my brain and manipulating phantom fears. As there are battles, so are there many things to celebrate. I saw the Lord restore relationships, move hearts and touch neighbors, learning to practice brotherly love, as the Lord had me one day go help sister's neighbor next door with some cookies. She must have been 80 years old. I had to learn to lay down my own agenda and go help a soul in need, either in our own home or next door. He had me learn a lot of self-denial and much humility. So after those 6-7 months of staying in Germany and training, the Lord moved me to Portugal.